My dear friends, let us sit together for a moment and talk like family. There comes a time in life when every choice we make matters more than ever. What we eat, what we think, how we move, how we rest. All of it speaks to our well-being, especially as we walk the beautiful path of older age. And today, I want to talk to you about something simple, but so very powerful: nuts. These tiny, innocent-looking gifts from nature can either be your trusted allies or quiet enemies. It all depends on knowing which ones to welcome into your body and which ones to kindly decline. You see, I've spent many decades in medicine, not just studying diseases or reading lab reports, but sitting with patients, listening to their fears, watching them heal or decline. I've seen how food can be a turning point, a source of energy or a root of pain, and in many of my elderly patients, those facing heart conditions, digestive issues, arthritis, or memory challenges. The small things often make the biggest difference. That handful of nuts before dinner, that snack during tea time, it all adds up. And while nuts are often praised, not all of them are good for everyone, especially not for seniors. Let me tell you what I've learned, what science confirms, and what you need to know to protect your health and nurture your strength. Let us begin with the nuts that truly support your aging body. The first is walnuts. Rich in omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid, walnuts are like brain food. One landmark study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging followed older adults who consumed walnuts regularly. It found significant improvement in cognitive performance and memory retention. Why is this important? Because as we age, our brain begins to change. Neurons fire slower, synapses weaken, inflammation rises silently. But walnuts help fight this decline. They reduce oxidative stress in the brain. They soothe inflammation. They keep the mind sharper, longer. More than just the brain, walnuts also help the heart. According to a major study in the New England Journal of Medicine, older adults who consumed walnuts at least 3 times a week had a 39% lower risk of dying from heart disease. That is not a small number. That is life or death. You see, walnuts help lower LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs arteries. They also help keep blood vessels flexible and reduce the kind of inflammation that silently damages the heart over time. If you are dealing with high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, or past heart issues, a small handful of walnuts can be a friend worth keeping. The second nut I recommend wholeheartedly is almonds. You might already enjoy them, but do you know why they're so good for you? They are high in vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber. These 3 nutrients are incredibly important as you age. Vitamin E protects the skin from damage. It supports eye health and may even slow the progression of age-related macular degeneration. One clinical trial published in Age and Aging showed that older adults who had higher intakes of vitamin E had better physical function and slower decline in mobility. So when I see an older patient struggling with stiffness or energy, I ask about their vitamin E. Almonds can help. Magnesium found in almonds is essential for nerve function, steady heart rhythm, and blood sugar control. But here's the key. Many seniors do not get enough magnesium. Deficiency can lead to cramps, confusion, fatigue, and irregular heartbeat. A single ounce of almonds gives you about 76 milligrams of magnesium. That is not a magic number, but it's a meaningful contribution. And the fiber in almonds helps digestion, a common concern for seniors. It supports bowel regularity and feeds the good bacteria in your gut. That matters more than most people realize. Now let me tell you about a third nut that I believe is a quiet champion: pistachios. These are often underestimated, but they are rich in protein, potassium, and phytosterols. Studies from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have shown that pistachios can help lower LDL cholesterol and raise HDL, the good cholesterol. That balance is critical in preventing strokes and heart attacks. Pistachios are also high in antioxidants like lutein and zeaxanthin. These protect your eyes. I've seen seniors who eat pistachios regularly show better eye test results over time. That is not coincidence. That is nature doing its work. Another reason I love pistachios is that they encourage mindful eating. Because they are often shelled by hand, people eat them slowly. That prevents overconsumption and improves digestion. The act of shelling and eating also keeps the mind engaged. These small habits matter. They protect cognitive function and prevent mindless eating. But now, my dear listener, I must gently warn you, not all nuts are safe or ideal. Some may carry more risk than reward, especially for seniors. I want to talk to you about 3 nuts that I ask my older patients to avoid. I do not say this lightly. I say this after years of observation, study, and clinical care. The first nut to avoid is the cashew. Yes, they are creamy. Yes, they are tasty. But here's the problem. Cashews are high in oxalates. These compounds can interfere with calcium absorption and increase the risk of kidney stones. For seniors, especially those with a history of kidney issues or on certain medications, oxalates are dangerous. I recall a patient, a 72-year-old woman, who loved cashews. She thought of them as healthy, but over time her kidney function declined. Her urinalysis revealed high oxalate crystals. Once we removed cashews, her levels improved. There are safer nuts to eat. Cashews are also high in calories and lower in fiber compared to almonds or walnuts. They are often roasted in oil and salted heavily. That adds unnecessary sodium to your diet, raising blood pressure and stressing the heart. Even the unsalted ones can be deceptive. If you have diabetes, beware. Cashews are not the best choice. Their glycemic load is higher than other nuts, meaning they can spike blood sugar more rapidly. The second nut to be cautious about is the macadamia nut. I know, it's rich and luxurious, but that richness comes at a cost. Macadamia nuts are extremely high in fat, primarily monounsaturated fat. While this type of fat is generally considered heart-friendly, the calorie density is overwhelming. Just a small handful can contain more than 200 calories. For older adults who are trying to manage their weight or cardiovascular risk, this is not helpful. Moreover, macadamia nuts are very low in protein. They do not provide the muscle support that seniors need. Remember, aging naturally leads to muscle loss. This is called sarcopenia. To fight it, seniors need adequate protein. A nut that fills you with fat but not with protein does not serve you well. A study in clinical interventions in aging highlighted that older adults need about 50 to 60% more protein than younger adults to maintain muscle mass. Macadamia nuts just do not deliver what your aging body needs. Lastly, I must speak about Brazil nuts. You may have heard they are high in selenium, and that is true. But there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Brazil nuts contain an extremely high concentration of selenium. Just 1 or 2 nuts can exceed the recommended daily intake. In small amounts, selenium supports thyroid function and immunity, but in excess, it becomes toxic. Symptoms of selenium toxicity include hair loss, gastrointestinal upset, nerve damage, and a metallic taste in the mouth. I've seen patients unknowingly harm themselves by eating Brazil nuts daily. One man in his 60s came to me with hair loss and strange fatigue. His blood selenium was off the charts. We traced it to a bag of Brazil nuts he ate every night. We stopped it, and his health returned. For seniors, where the margin of error is smaller, we must be careful. Brazil nuts are simply too concentrated. If you enjoy them, eat one once in a while, but do not make them a habit. So where does this leave us, my friends? Let us return to simplicity. If you are looking to nourish your mind, your heart, your bones, and your spirit, reach for walnuts. Let them support your memory and soothe your inflammation. Add almonds for their vitamin E, their gentle energy, and their digestive power. Let pistachios bring you joy and balance in small, colorful doses. And be wise enough to leave behind the nuts that might tempt but not serve you. Let cashews, macadamias, and Brazil nuts find their place elsewhere. Growing older is not about giving up pleasures. It is about choosing what keeps you well. It is about loving your body enough to listen to its needs. Food can be your medicine, or it can quietly work against you. The difference is often in the details. A handful here, a portion there. You have more power than you know. Take this knowledge as a gift from a doctor who has seen both miracles and regrets. Let each bite be an act of care. You deserve to feel well. You deserve to age with strength and clarity. So choose wisely, eat with purpose, and live with the deep, full health that comes from respecting your body's wisdom. How do nuts affect memory and brain health in older adults? My dear friends, as we grow older, many things begin to shift within us. The body slows down, the joints get stiffer, sleep changes. But perhaps the most personal and often most frightening change is what happens in the mind. You forget where you placed your keys. You walk into a room and forget why you came. Names begin to slip. And sometimes it is not just forgetfulness. It is the fear behind it. The fear of losing your independence, your identity, your precious memories. I have spoken to so many older adults who worry that each forgotten moment is a sign of something deeper. Dementia, Alzheimer's, a slow fading of self. And I want you to know something. You are not helpless. There are things you can do today to protect your brain, to nourish it, to support your memory. And believe it or not, one of those powerful steps begins with what's on your plate. More specifically, with the humble handful of nuts you might eat each day. You see, science has taken great interest in how nutrition affects the aging brain. And over the past decade, researchers have turned their eyes to nuts. These small but mighty foods carry inside them a treasure chest of compounds that speak directly to the health of your brain. I want to take you through this, slowly, carefully, as if we are walking together through a quiet garden. Each step backed by truth, by real evidence, and by the genuine desire to see you live well. Let us begin with walnuts. Among all the nuts studied, walnuts seem to stand out when it comes to brain health. They are rich in a type of omega-3 fatty acid called alpha-linolenic acid. This is a plant-based fat that helps reduce inflammation in the body and in the brain. Chronic inflammation is one of the underlying causes of cognitive decline. A study published in the journal Nutrients in 2020 found that older adults who regularly consumed walnuts showed better cognitive performance over a period of 2 years. Their memory was sharper, their reaction times were faster, and their overall brain function was more stable compared to those who did not eat walnuts. But walnuts do more than just offer healthy fats. They are also high in antioxidants. Compounds like polyphenols help to protect the brain from oxidative stress. This is the type of cellular damage that accumulates with age and contributes to diseases like Alzheimer's. In one animal study conducted by researchers at Tufts University, aging rats were fed a diet containing 2% walnuts. These rats performed significantly better in memory and motor tests compared to those who did not receive the nuts. Now, of course, humans are not rats, but these kinds of studies help us understand the potential power these foods hold. Now let's talk about almonds. These are another gift worth understanding. Almonds are rich in vitamin E, and this nutrient plays a vital role in brain health. Vitamin E acts like a shield against cell damage. It protects neurons, the tiny nerve cells that carry messages in the brain. A landmark study in the Archives of Neurology found that older adults with higher dietary intake of vitamin E had a reduced risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. The researchers followed over 800 people for nearly 4 years. Those who consumed more vitamin E through food, not supplements, showed better memory and thinking skills over time. The body absorbs vitamin E more effectively when it comes from natural sources, and almonds, with their healthy fats and nutrient profile, make that absorption easier. Just a small handful a day can make a difference. I've seen patients in their 70s and 80s who simply began adding almonds to their morning routine. And over the months, they reported feeling more alert. Their families noticed it too. These little improvements are not always captured in large studies, but they are real. I've seen it with my own eyes. Now, pistachios are another nut that may surprise you. They are packed with compounds called carotenoids, especially lutein and zeaxanthin. These nutrients are usually discussed in the context of eye health, but recent research has shown that they also accumulate in the brain. A study published in Nutrients in 2021 found that higher levels of lutein and zeaxanthin in older adults were associated with better visual memory and learning ability. Pistachios also contain B vitamins and copper, which are essential for brain function and for maintaining the health of neurotransmitters. These are the chemical messengers that help you think, feel, and remember. Now let's pause for a moment, because I want you to really think about what this means. These are not pills, not expensive treatments, not unreachable solutions. These are foods, simple, natural, and available to nearly everyone. By eating the right nuts regularly, you are giving your brain the tools it needs to fight aging. You are feeding it the fuel to stay sharp, to stay connected to your memories, to your stories, to your loved ones. But I must also caution you, Not all nuts are equal. Some are salted heavily, roasted in poor quality oils, or covered in sugar. These forms of nuts can actually harm your health. The added salt can raise blood pressure, which in turn can damage the small blood vessels in the brain. High blood pressure is one of the leading risk factors for cognitive decline and stroke. So always choose raw or dry roasted nuts without added ingredients. It is the pure form that holds the most benefit. Also, moderation matters. Nuts are dense in calories. You do not need to eat large amounts to benefit. A small handful each day is enough. That is about 1 ounce, maybe 8 to 10 walnuts, or 15 to 20 almonds, or a generous spoonful of pistachios. This is not about overeating. It is about nourishing with purpose. If you have allergies or digestive issues, speak with your doctor first. And if you are on blood thinners, some nuts may interact with your medications. Always approach with awareness. But do not be afraid, because the benefits are real. I want you to imagine something. Imagine waking up in the morning, pouring a glass of water, and reaching for a small bowl of almonds and walnuts. You sit in your chair, the light is soft, you take your time, you chew slowly, you give thanks. And in that simple act, you are doing something powerful. You are protecting your mind. You are standing guard over your memory. You are saying yes to more years of clarity, more conversations, more moments you will not forget. This is not about fear, it is about hope. The brain, even in later years, can change. It can grow new connections, it can heal, but it needs the right support. And what you eat matters more than you think. So take this knowledge as a companion, a gentle guide. Add nuts to your life, not just as food, but as medicine. Share this wisdom with your children and your friends. Let your choices today become your strength tomorrow. Because your memories are worth protecting. Your mind is worth nourishing. And you, my friend, are worth every bit of care.